What's up, homies? This is
What's up?
Basshead,
Boston.
and this is the Unknown Show where we're talking about indie music. So, the last 3 songs you heard, just as a recap, were what? Just as a little quick quiz.
What If I Go by Muramasa, which
Nice.
just came out recently.
Ooh.
And then we listened to Angela by the Lumineers off their new album.
Which we will talk about in a few.
And we listened to Fool for You by Zayn.
Yes, and that is the main focus. So, I took it upon myself to listen to the album in full. And overall, I mean, not all of the songs were super, like, they just weren't my style that I usually listen to, so they didn't really catch me. But the few that I did enjoy were, and I wrote some notes because I knew I'd forget, like, the names and stuff. One was called Rear View, and I liked it because it was kind of mindless, but it was more for the backbeat that I enjoyed. Yeah, so I would recommend that one. Another one was Wrong, again for the backbeat. The lyrics were
that one.
right.
Yeah.
The lyrics were pretty good. They were a bit repetitive, but I actually really enjoyed the feature in it, and it was Kehlani.
Yeah, Kehlani features on it with him.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, first of all, I didn't know it was a girl, so when I heard her voice originally, I was like surprised. I was like, oh, I thought it'd be a guy. I don't know why. I just assumed. Not good of me. But yeah, I don't know. I really enjoyed it. But then the song that just played, "Fool for You," I would say is probably for me the best song on his album. It really displays his vocals.
Oh yeah, 100%. He has a lot of runs in there that you can you can hear how talented he is.
Which is just classic Zayn style that we're used to from his past work with One Direction. So I really enjoyed that. And I don't know, like listening to it, I kind of got this, it reminded me of Thinking Out Loud. It was a very like waltzy, dance around the room song.
Yeah, definitely.
And it was slower, and I don't know, it's the kind of style that I enjoy. I think it really, if anything else, his vocals in it are just spot on.
One thing I will say is when I listened to his album, I was expecting it to be a little more R&B than it was.
Yeah.
You know, he has a lot of slower songs on there, and I mean, his inspiration's coming from the same place, so it's all based on what he experienced while writing this album, but for the image he's trying to craft for himself right now, I expected it to be a little different, which is bad on my part. I should have just waited to see what it was, but my pre-assumptions would have been for it to be a little more R&B, but I was pleasantly surprised. So
No, yeah, I think so too. Because, well, the way he just portrays himself, he puts himself around R&B people. You saw him in studios with R&B people. But with that aside, I think it was definitely better than I expected to be.
Yeah.
Just because, like, I didn't really think that the type of music that he was going to put out was something that I would be interested in. But yeah, those 3 songs I'll probably listen to again. We played She last week. Since listening to it last week, I haven't listened to it again on my phone. It was good, but it just wasn't, again, my style usually. Other songs, Like I Would,
I did buy that one.
Did you? Okay.
I only heard like the first clip of it on iTunes.
Yep.
From what I heard, it sounded good, but I'm a little worried it's repetitive.
Yeah, well, what was I gonna say? Yeah, that was just the one that on Twitter and other social medias people seem to be raving about.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't know, Pillow Talk, I'm just still kind of jamming to that. I know it'll probably get old just from like radio and stuff fairly soon, but while I still can, I'm kind of enjoying it.
He definitely picked a good first single. 100%.
Definitely. It's just like for anything else on the album that I listened to, I don't think would have gotten the same acclaim that one did. And that was what I expected from the album more, just all songs like that.
Yeah, definitely. Especially from what he was saying before he left the band and the types of music he does listen to. It was surprising, but I mean, I think he has a good start to a solo career if he wants to continue down this path.
Yep.
But we'll see.
Yeah, and
we'll see.
I think that the album as a whole is pretty diverse in style, which definitely. I enjoyed. I like that in an album. That's what I enjoyed about the 1975 album. Yeah, and now that I'm just thinking about it, there's an intermission song called Flowers.
Yeah.
It's instrumental, right?
Yeah, it
Yeah,
is.
it's really pretty. So overall album, I would check it out, and I would take each song separately
Yeah.
and hear if you enjoy it before listening to the first few and then deciding about the rest, because I find that the second half of the album was actually better than the first.
I definitely wouldn't go into it thinking it'll be the same Zayn that people are used to from the band
Or expect.
because that's what I did, and I was very surprised. Not in a bad way, but it was different. So I mean, that's always good. And again, I think this album was more about musicality than anything. It's more of him showing that he is a legitimate musician, because there's always that doubt with boy bands or people who don't play instruments. Even though every member of One Direction is very, very talented, this is kind of Zayn breaking out of that and being like, look, I am a legitimate solo artist. I'm not just someone who left boy band.
Yeah, so I think I did a good job of that.
Definitely.
One thing I would like to see, though, or I'm just curious, because I mean, it's easy enough to look up, I just don't know, is the producers he worked with and what people put out the backtracks, because I found that those were really strong on the album. You know?
Yeah, definitely. They kind of elevated his vocals.
Definitely. So that was a good combination.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, that was so good job, Zayn. I'm going to say that. Good first debut album, and we are excited to see what you have in store for us in the future. Maybe a tour, probably.
Some music videos.
I can see that. Ooh,
he has
music
3 out
videos.
now, but we'll see. He might do album by song by song thing. That'd be cool.
That's true. Yeah. So
good publicity.
Fingers crossed with that.
We'll see.
All right. When we get back, we're going to talk about the Lumineers and a bunch of other stuff. So stay tuned.